Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up an artist network database using Google Docs. Hopefully everyone here is familiar with Google in some way. I think a lot of people have Gmail. We'll be doing this in Google Drive, where you can set up folders, Google Sheets, Google Docs, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I use this, and I also pay for the service for, syncing information back and forth between my local computer and Google itself. I pay for like 2 terabytes a month. It's like $10 a month. Yeah, I don't think you have to pay for anything because this is not going to take up a lot of space in Google, so it could be completely free for you. Again, we're going to keep it simple. Like I said in the video before, this is something that you want to use often, and there's some specific data points that you want to collect within the Google Sheet. I also set up or have a video recorded for setting this up in Notion.so if you like Notion better than Google. I'm trying to keep it super simple here. I don't go into the crazy tech stuff of it, although I am kind of a crazy tech guy anyways. But yeah, let's keep it simple on here and let's get right to it. So I'm in my Google Drive right now, my drive, and I created a folder called Network. The reason why I did that is because I have a ton of files in here that probably you don't want to see, and it could be, information that I don't want to share. So yeah, we're in the network. And then you'll start like this. You can drop new files in here or whatever, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here and create a new Google Sheet. Here's the sheet. This is how it starts out, and we're going to call this Network. All right, you can call it Artist Network or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to the drive itself, so Google Drive, and I'm going to right click in here or hit this box up here and choose new folder, okay? And I'm going to also call this Network. And I'll show you why we need a folder here also with a sheet as well a little bit later, but that's going to be extremely important. I just want to say that I set up my network, my artist network, in Notion, and then throughout making the previous video about how to effectively do this, I found that I really like doing it in Google more because it was just a test, but then after doing it here, I really like Google. I mean, I'm very Google centric. I'm on Windows machines, but it's universal. So anyway, so let's get back to it. So I'm going to zoom in here. Let's go 200%. Whoa, that's huge. 150. That should be good. What's nice about Google Sheets is just like Excel is we can position rows and columns so they stay in one place. So you won't see this until I actually begin adding information. But what you want to do is, I did that without telling you how. Right here, if you hover over this these borders here, you'll get something you can grab onto and you can drag it down. That will lock the top column. Okay, so it doesn't scroll out of view. If I do the same for this, well, actually that was a row. If I do the same for this first column, it won't scroll out of view. So if I scroll left and right, A will always be there. You can see like it's A then F, this kind of thing. And then if I scroll down, column 1 will always be there. And I'll show you why that's important right now. Let's go ahead and just set up all of our pieces of data we want to collect. Very first thing is name. I'm going to hit tab and then type in last for me. So this is going to be last connected, next time to connect, list, email. This is the exact order that I have it on my my network setup, and I'm just kind of copying from it. Notes, relation, group, and profession. What's next? Hold on. I have my network on another screen, so I can just kind of scroll through it and look without showing you all the all the sensitive artist data that I have. Yeah. So profession, phone, company, physical location, and then website, Facebook, Instagram. I think you get the idea. And it's up to you how many columns you want to add. You could, literally you could add just 3 or 4 columns, you have the most important data that you need, keep it as simple as possible, or you can add up to all these columns. Honestly, most of the time, the later columns that I have on here don't get information. It's the first few columns that are probably the most important, especially the notes column. You know, next, so it'd be last, next, list, email, notes, and then how to contact them. Those are all the most important for me. Okay, so let's get into adding data. This next piece of data is going to be a date. But we don't, you know, I could sit here every day and I could type in, you know, 10/10/22. But it would be nice to have a date picker, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to data. Well, actually, before I even do that, I'm going to select this entire column and then hold shift and remove the last one. What I want to do is I want to do this for every single column, so all the way down. So I'll come up here to data after those are selected, and I'll choose data validation. This little box will pop up, and from criteria, you're going to pick list, you're going to pick date within there, and then that's it, save. So now every time that I go to one of these, if I double click, so I double click here, it'll show a nice little date picker, right? Today is November 4th, so I could put November 4th on there. I'm going to do the same with next because this is our next time to contact this individual, and I want dates for everything. So I'll just click up here to select everything in the column. I'll hold shift to select everything in the column. I'll hold control, to unselect that one row. So everything below it is selected. I'll hit data validation, criteria is date, and then save. And then now I can double click and let's say that I need to contact them in 3 weeks. And I will know that because we'll have a list here. And the list would be one of 4 things. So it could be that they are on your A list. So John Doe is on my A list. So every 3 weeks. There you go. And I have this blown up pretty large, 150%. So that's why things aren't fitting too well. But actually, I can see it really good, so maybe I'll continue doing it this way. Kind of cool. All right, we'll come back to that to show you some really cool ways to make it look good, too, to help you out. And then email, so we go at eat@joes.com. And then notes. This is, I'll get into that in a moment, but this is really important because there's going to be some fun stuff that we're going to be doing with notes, because we can't just add notes here all the time. It's not going to work, right? We need something more. So relation is going to be, you know, either professional, and maybe the next person is friend, and the next person is family, you know, that kind of thing. So the relations are there. What's nice about Google Sheets is if I already have things entered in, I can start typing and professional will come up, and I can just hit tab or enter and that will appear. So the more you add within the column itself, the more choices you have there. Group, we have, I mean, for me, we have peer. It could be support as well. It could be mentor. So we can, and unlike Notion, in Notion, you actually have a place where you can select tags, and actually that's the only thing I think that works a lot better inside of Notion is the ability for tags. We can't really do that in Google, but we're going to keep this simple. It's basically just going to be a list of comma separated values. Now, the good thing is when you have those lists in there and you start typing, you can easily pull up that list, in some way. And then profession, let's get this there so that the profession could be, multiple items: artist, business owner, teacher, whatever you want. Phone number, this is obvious here. Company. I won't go through all the other specifics. It's basically text entry for every single one. But here's where some magic actually happens within Google Sheets, which I really like a lot. The first thing I'm going to do is, so today's the 4th. So I'm going to say the last time I contacted the next person, which doesn't have a name, was way back here in October. And the dates here are formatted really strangely. So what you can do is do that selection thing, go up here to format, number, and then date, and the dates will be formatted a lot better. So let's do that for this column as well. And then the next contact date for this individual is probably going to be maybe, let's say the 22nd, right? So we have some dates here. Also, let's set up this person be every 2 months. Okay, and then we could have a C every 6 months. You might be wondering, why am I setting up these dates this way? In the very first video where I talked about effectively setting up an artist network, I go through some suggestions for lists here. So check out that video if you're still wondering why I'm choosing a lot of this data. Okay, so what we can do is we can have Google color these things depending on some criteria. So let's do our selection for everything in this column except for the first, and we can go up to format and conditional formatting. Okay, and as you can see, we have the range selected. The very far right over here is where our conditional formatting, so it's selecting C2 through C1000. So that's column C, row 2, all the way through row 1000. Now what we can do is we can say, okay, if the date is before the past week, we're going to turn it a nice red color. Yeah. Okay. So now this date is before 1 week ago from today, from my current date right now. And it's red because I need to contact this person again. And what's great about this is we can also sort A to Z. And when I sort, the very top person on the list is the person I need to contact next. And it's red, letting me know that, hey, I need to really contact this person. Another thing that I like to do is we can do that selection again. And then we can add another rule at the far right. So date is before, let's say yesterday. And let's make it a nice orange. Oh, no, not that one. We want to keep the text, the nice black text, but the background, a nice orange color. Done. So let's say this date is maybe the 2nd. Okay, it's going to turn yellow, or like this kind of orange color. Oh, that this person is coming up. I need to contact them soon. But if I had a date that was in the future, these are not going to have any highlighting whatsoever. So this gives me a really nice indication. I really need to contact this person. This person's coming up soon. So that's pretty cool. The other thing you can do, let's do the same selection here and set up some formatting as well. Oh, it's already open on the right. So if text contains, let's say, A:, okay, it'll turn green. Add another rule. If text contains, the formula is B:, let's say that maybe it's a nice, yellow color. Nope, I keep selecting the text. Now we want the background. Done. And then let's say the text contains C:. The background is a little bit darker orange or red. Oh, I keep doing the text. This kind of thing. So it's nice you can get visual coloration here of what group they're in or what list that they're part of, which is really nice. So fun ways to really customize this, to really kind of call out to you what's important and what's not important. That way you can quickly look at your list and easily determine, oh yeah, I need to really, call that person or contact them. Another great thing I like about Google is when I hover over any email, it shows all this information. I can quickly copy the email. I can also hit this button to mail them, and then all kinds of other contact information. I can even add to my Google contacts. Now, the most important thing about this list is the notes that you're going to take when you contact these individuals. So I'm going to show you how you can link your database, these rows of individuals, to very comprehensive notes that I think surpass Notion in a lot of ways. So let's get into that. All right. Every time I switch screens, I have to type a number. Maybe I should change that. That's okay. So we have nothing here. I'm going to go back to my Google Drive. Remember, I set up that network folder. Well, I'm going to double click to go into that folder. Inside here, I'm going to create a new Google document. So hit new at the top, Google Doc. All right. So we'll create a new document. We're going to call it John Doe. This is the person's name. And then I'll make that the title of the document. I'll just click up here at the top left so it titles itself John Doe. And then I can write some notes. And maybe I have, days of notes. The first time I contacted John, right? And then maybe some more notes here. The problem with this that I found at the very beginning is, there's no dates associated with it. When did I actually contact them? But Google actually fixes that as well. We have an option there also. Let me make this a little bit larger so you can see it. So I'm all the way here, okay? Now, the first time I contacted John was a few days ago. So I'm gonna go up to the insert menu at the very top. So insert, and then I'm gonna choose date, okay? And then I can choose, maybe I contact him October 22nd on the 11th. And then I'm gonna hit enter, I don't need to. But my notes for October 11th, 2022 are going to be under that date, which is really cool, right? Next one, maybe I contacted John today. So insert date, today's date, and there it is. My notes for contacting John are awesomely separated. Not only that, you have the power of a spreadsheet. Not a spreadsheet. You have the power of a full suite of document editing, like Microsoft Word or anything. So you can add images, you could add video, you could add links, you could add whatever you want, so that when you come into this document to reference John, you could even see images of his work and all kinds of stuff. And I don't think you can do that in Notion. So this is really powerful. But how do we link that back to my database so that I don't have to continually search for this file every single time? This is the secret sauce. It's not really secret. I mean, there's no secrets anymore. Just search Google, right? It's like all those videos out there. The secret for this, the secret for that. Whatever. It's just they're trying to get you to click. Anyway, there's no secrets here. I'm going to show you how to do this. Let's get back into it. Okay, there's my 1-2 again for screen transition. Let's go back to the network Google Sheet. So here we are inside of notes. What you can do is you can hold Control or Command on Mac, and hit K, Control K. This wonderful menu comes up, and then you can search. You search through all of your documents. So I'm going to search for John. Oh, Jon Snow comes up. Doe. And the one thing that I noticed on this is if you've just created a document, it takes Google a bit to actually build the references to it. So if it doesn't come up right away, just wait a few minutes and it'll come up, and you can link it later, that kind of thing. All right, let's try again. Okay, this is really interesting. I had to set up a different name for John Doe. I called him John Doe Awesome. I guess Google just has trouble searching for John Doe on this, but it's not going to be a problem if you have actual real names. I mean, honestly, it just takes maybe 60 seconds for this to reference. But the important thing is you can hit the Control K, you can search for John, you can search for the person, and then click that link to them. And there's the link. And this is where it's awesome, just like John Doe, is when you hover over this. Let's say John contacts you, and you're like, oh wow, I need to see my notes real quick. You hover over this, and then you click on John Doe, and that sheet comes up right away. Fantastically awesome. I love this. Control K will get you to any sheet you want. You could do that anywhere. Let's say that you have a company. You could create a Google Doc about the company and then associate it with it here. The most important thing that I would say is, let's go back to your network folder, okay, in Google Drive, is you want to keep all those documents under network. Here's John Doe Awesome here, okay? It's a great way of organizing them. I mean, you could have them scattered all over your drive in multiple different places and just connect with them, but I like keeping everything organized. Maybe I organize things way too much, but it helps me get in and out without using too much brain power, so I can use all that brain power on actually creating art. Anyway, that was probably a lot longer than it needed to be as far as setting up your Google Network or your artist network database using Google Docs or the Google Hemisphere, that kind of thing. If you have any questions about this rambly video, that's why I have scripts usually for these things, just let me know. You can use my contact form on my website. I contact everybody personally. If you get my email, which you probably will if you opt into anything, I'll contact you there then. Yeah, send me an email. Say, hey, Chris, I didn't really understand what you're talking about here. Either I'll create another video or I'll write up a document on it and help you out as much as I can. That's my purpose here, to help you out. So get creating on your network. The best thing you can do is continually use it and grow your network and keep track of it here. It's fantastic, especially when you want to take your art to the next level, which is selling, making money, and being professional with it rather than just a hobby. Anyway, I'm rambling, so hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.